What's up, everybody? Welcome to Inside Brooklyn. This is the podcast that is sponsored by Trendy Tripping and WJMS Radio. This is our podcast where we focus on business owners, entrepreneurs, movers and shakers in and around the Brooklyn community that are making a difference right in your backyard. We are very, very excited to put on this show because what we do is we end up speaking to all these different people and connecting them together and making an even bigger umbrella here in the Brooklyn Commons and outside. And it's just nice to connect and network with people who have like minds and similar passions, and just kind of use each other's energy to fuel what you're doing. So this podcast has been a lot of fun to do. I'm very, very excited to bring this guest. Probably one of the most interesting careers I've heard on the show thus far. So I'm really, really excited to talk to this young lady here. Her name is Geetika Agrawal, and she is the designer and founder and CEO of Vacation with an Artist, which is a mission to help people find creative apprenticeships and master artists and craftspeople around the world to learn new skills. A really, really interesting concept, something we haven't heard before. So she's here joined, of course, with me and my co-host, Kristen. We're going to chat with her a little bit today about how she came up with this idea, where it all came from. We're going to get a little bit of background on her, and then hopefully she's going to give us a little bit of knowledge about traveling and some of these artist apprenticeships that she's putting together. So, Geetika, welcome to the show, and thank you so much for being with us today.
Thank you so much for having me.
Of course. So can you give the audience a little bit of a background on who you are, where you came from, and sort of how you got to where you are today?
Sure. I was born in India. I spent the first 22 years of my life in there growing up. So I studied architecture, and then I moved to Los Angeles for my master's in industrial design. I was there for about 7 years, working in more interactive design, doing websites. This is like just when the internet was getting really fun. Doing work for Disney, and then I moved to San Francisco for a year, and then last 12 years I've been in New York. I was a creative director at a digital agency called RGA, and then 3 years ago I decided to start my own, which is Wawa.
Which is a really, really interesting concept. We've had a lot of people who travel, we've had people who have gone to other countries and done work in other countries, but we've never seen somebody partner people together from separate countries to work together and create a partnership that way. So where did this idea come from? Was there some kind of spark in your mind that was like, this needs to happen? Or like, what was the turning point that made you create Wawa?
Yeah, so it's actually a long story, but I'll try to tell it in a short way because it happened actually over a period of 20 years. So when I was in architecture school, I used to spend my summers working with craftspeople all over India. I would go to the south of India to learn how to make brass lamps or miniature paintings, and I just loved the idea of like going to a new place with no plans. And the only plan was to wake up in the morning and just go to the artist studio and just work with them, just shadow them. And I didn't have to think anything. They would instantly become my hosts per se, because I could ask them any number of questions of where to go, what to do, and they always had tips and places to take me to, because I had become their student. Mm-hmm. So their entire family would take care of me. So and I would do the same thing every morning, just go work with them in the studio, and then I would have the evenings for myself. And so after doing this for my entire college years, like that's how I learned how to travel. Like I just didn't know any better. So over the years, I've traveled to 45 plus countries, and wow. That's what I have always sought. So when I went to Indonesia, I came across a silver jewelry maker, and I just literally walked in, started talking to her, just joined in. I just wanted to like make jewelry, and so this is just how I've traveled until I think it was about a few years ago when I was freezing cold in the winter in New York, and I've been sitting, on a desk job, working away on my computer, and I'm just wanting to get away and do something with my hands, like not be on a computer. And I didn't have the time to just like go and find someone. So I started researching online, like how can I find these artists that I typically find when I have the luxury of time. And but here I didn't have time and I couldn't find anything. And I was so frustrated. I said, wouldn't it be great if there was an easy way to find artists that I could just go and work with for the 5 days of my vacation? So that was kind of the real turning point. And I ended up going to Dominican Republic, and I did acro yoga for 5 days and trapeze because I couldn't find anything.
I wouldn't have paired acro yoga and the Dominican together.
Yeah.
Now we know.
Yeah, so it's like in the northeast part of Dominican Republic, a lot of kite surfers, and so there's a lot of acro yoga and trapeze there. So that's what I ended up doing, but then I came back with this mission that I wanted to build this, and since I've been doing this on my own for 20 years, like I just need to put the time to do it. And I saw most of the people were always asking me, how do you find these artists? And everyone's feeling really exhausted by sitting on the computers all the time. So so I felt this was the right time to create a platform that would allow people to take this time away from computers instead of buying things, like, actually
Investing in yourself.
investing in yourself, learning a new skill, and actually really truly connecting with a local and who is an artist. And artists are the ambassadors of a culture. So like, who better than an artist to like get to know the place from.
And it's not just artists, like there's sculptors, there's all different kinds of, it's basically people working with their hands, which I think is so cool that you talked about breaking away from the computer culture, because we are so hardwired to do this all day and to do this all day on the computer. It's nice to actually to create with your hands. Like,
we're as humans, we're made to create. We were creating our entire life, and somehow we've just got stuck on this.
We started creating through screens now. Like, we no longer create outside of the screen, now we create within a screen space.
Yeah, so we're creating that touch.
So who was the first artist that signed on board and was like, yeah, I'm with it, let's do this? Like, what was that like for you?
Yeah, so it was interesting how it came about. So to build this, I decided to take a year-long sabbatical from my job, and I was going to travel to 12 countries. In that year, and I was going to spend a month in each country finding these artists, building the company. And as a creative director, I knew how to build businesses and brands and products, and that was not the hard part. It was just finding these artists. So my first country was Czech Republic. Just like I would do in all my travels, I just started walking around. I think I have by now a nose for where to find artists and designers, and I'm a designer myself, so I can find it. So the first artist was a leather shoemaker, Eric Lauer.
Yeah.
He is one of the most well-known bespoke leather shoemaker in Prague, and each of the shoes sells for 3,000 euros. Everything is super handcrafted. Each shoe takes him sometimes 2 weeks to a month to make. There are no rivets and nails, everything is fitted perfectly, and like a glove on your feet. So I literally walked into the studio, told him about this is what I'm trying to do. He was super excited about wanting to teach other people from around the world, because as an artist, sometimes it can be very lonely. Working by yourself in your studio, and you gain all this knowledge, and you also want to pass it on and have more conversations. So this idea of having the world travel to your studio was just so exciting for him, that he said yes. And the way it was structured is not like how a lot of tourist companies do, where they want to send 20 people to your studio. That's
overwhelming.
That's too much for a master. So for us, it was not about a tour. It was not about a cool, fun activity for 20 people. It was set up like an apprenticeship. So it's one-on-one, and there's actually the time there to work with the person, and you can truly build a relationship. So he was super excited, and that was a good sign. So I went on to the next artist, who was shoemaker. No, sorry. What's the next one? Was a textile designer. Also in Czech Republic.
So how many countries do you have currently?
We are currently in 26 countries across all continents. Except Antarctica.
Why not
That's 2021,
Antarctica?
right?
We're getting, yes.
Ice fishing is art.
We'll be there. Yeah.
That's so cool.
We're working with 84 artists, and yeah, like you said, it's artists. Our definition is really broad. We represent 17 different art forms, from like painting, ceramics, cooking, photography, shoemaking, paper crafts, wood crafts, metal crafts, performances, music, theater, mind and body, fiber. Yeah.
There's got to be a way to partner, Nadej with her,
Yeah.
the cooking side of things, with the travel. I feel
Yeah.
like there's a Venn diagram.
Yes, she
here.
does like a cultural food tour of Haiti, and it's just
Amazing.
It's
All
amazing to see
these
these
different
things grow. Now, do you have to be an artist to experience vowel?
No. You don't have to be an artist.
Because I'm not good at painting or like drawing a line on line paper, but I'd love to maybe learn how to work with metal or make shoes.
Yeah, I mean, my favorite quote is usually from Picasso, where I say, like, we're all born artists. The problem is how to remain an artist, and somehow our society tells us we're not an artist as we start growing up. So, I mean, it's all in us, and our perspective is that this opportunity should be open to everyone. What we do make sure is that each of the artists that we bring onto the platform, it's a highly curated platform, is a master, which means they can work with a beginner or an advanced artist. So you could be an advanced artist and you will still have plenty to learn, or you could be a complete beginner and would have never touched that art form, and they'll still be able to guide you. And because it's one-on-one, there's no pressure to keep pace with someone else who might be at a different level.
So what's your success story so far? Like, have you gotten people that now have jobs with these artists and have gone on to do further things?
Oh my God, the success stories are literally amazing. Things that I had not predicted. First of all, like just the things that people call, like when they write reviews, they call it, I'm quoting, an extraordinary human experience.
It's a hell of a review.
Life-changing, completely transformational, will remember for the rest of my life, so things like that. So we know that it's making a very deep impact on people, and it has varied. So some of our success stories are where someone was an artist already. So we had a clothing designer from Paris. She went to study ceramics with an artist in Slovenia. They ended up collaborating, and then they had a joint exhibition in Paris the following year. We had two musicians from New York who went to study music production with one of the top music producers in Uruguay. They ended up launching an album, which is on Spotify, and they produced a whole vinyl record. Those were professional artists. Then we've had people who always had this dream to like start their own clothing business. So they went and studied like national textile design with Tao, who's one of Hanoi's most respected like textile designers. And so a lot of people have started their own businesses after that. So this became like a launch pad for the next.
It seems like there's a ripple effect throughout the artistic community.
Yeah, exactly. And like in some cases, people just always had this passion to make this dream piece of furniture, or just like even feeling that I have this passion, but I haven't had the time, and like that just gave them the outlet to create something and rediscover themselves, rediscover their passion. So we had a baker from Belgium who ended up going to
We're such foodies.
Yeah. But like she's a baker, but she went and did ceramics, and she even just realized like a new side to her, to her baking skills. Like even just her existing skill got new life. We have a watercolor artist who went and did calligraphy, so now she's incorporating calligraphy strokes in her watercolor practice.
That's probably amazing. So good.
So it's just like it's literally like people have had all kinds. We've had people who are about to retire and they're afraid. What are they going to do in the next chapter of their lives? And so they have found new careers, or like not new careers, but new passions that's their next chapter of their life in.
That's so good.
Or people, who just moved through a difficult life stage, like someone got divorced or someone went on a sabbatical. Like people are just finding this as kind of a new energy into their life.
And it seems like it's applicable to many different generations,
Exactly.
A millennial that's looking for a career change or a break, or maybe someone in the baby boomer generation that's retiring and has time and resources on their hands. I love that.
Yeah, we in fact had a multi-generation family go on one of this, and they did printmaking in Spain. So it was a 5-year-old, an 11-year-old, their mom, and their grandma.
Oh, wow. That's so exciting.
Yeah.
So I have to ask, what's one of the hardest things that you've had to pull together with this business? Like, what has been something that you had to struggle with originally?
I think most of the struggles have been, like any struggles related to growing a business, is we decided to go the bootstrap route, which is really making sure that we stayed very close to our mission and our product differentiators, which is really taking the time to curate the right kinds of artists, and all that takes time and resources. So I think just anything related to growing a business, like resources, more time, and all the hard work to maintain quality and consistency and really provide an exceptional service. Those were kind of our challenges.
I would think that like reaching out to some of these artists, because you sound like you're reaching some really esteemed artists and artisans in these locations. So like getting to these folks sometimes can be a little bit of a hassle. So I would think that would be a little bit of a challenge. Has it been an issue for you?
Actually, interestingly not. We have about 1,000 applications from artists around the world.
Oh, wow. We gotta come to you instead. That's good.
So the artist networks are really small and tight, and so like once we had the right set of artists, and because there's just nothing out there, like the word just spread, and it's still spreading organically. In fact, the challenge for us has been making sure we're able to review their applications fast enough and get them onboarded onto the site. But the other challenge we have had is a lot of the artists are just not very like technically savvy or very well organized. We're just like getting them to like do things, help them organize.
Check their email.
Yeah, but that's part of our service. Like that's the reliability we bring to anyone who's gonna want to work with them and like help them organize, because so that they can focus on making the art and we can help them manage.
And you're expanding, right? You're entering a few new countries this year?
Yeah, so we just launched new artists. So we're in 26 countries. We just launched artists in Croatia, Scotland, Canada. We're adding South Africa later this month, and a few more countries. We've also just announced a new group retreat, which is different than our core like apprenticeship. So this is a group retreat for 6 people in Italy, with a world-renowned photojournalist, Manu Chair, and archaeologist and chef Ursula. And this is to witness the Holy Week celebrations in Italy.
Wow.
And these are like the most unparalleled traditions to witness in that part of the world.
And what part of Italy is it?
It's in Puglia.
Okay.
Yeah, it's April 5th to April 13th. There's 6 spots, so it's going to be quite intimate, and people will go on photo assignments with monitor to document all these amazing processions and ceremonies happening in the town and the churches and like all the feasts. So you'll be preparing Easter.
So much tradition.
And so much.
Yeah.
So logistically, for travel and staying and things like that, are you partnered with any like airlines or Airbnb, or what are the accommodations when artists sign up to go and have these apprenticeships?
Yeah, so a lot of the artists offer accommodation as an add-on. So if they offer that, then we offer that to any traveler. But as a company, we've created our own list of recommended places that people can stay. We don't do the booking for that. We only take care of the booking if you're staying with the artist. But yeah, we give recommendations for where people can stay, how to get from the airport to the studio, what are other things to do. So we have like a full concierge side to our business, where every traveler is taken care of from day one till they come back home.
It's super good.
How do you get started? Do you log on to your website? Like, how does someone start the process?
Yeah, it's www.vawa, which is VAWAA.com. Just go there, browse all the artists, pick the one you like, and send a booking request. That's all.
That's very simple.
And I've seen your website, it's beautiful, and it's very streamlined.
Yeah, I love it. So is there anything else coming up on the horizon aside from the Holy Week group excursion that you want to share with the audience?
Yeah, so that's the one I just shared, which is the Holy Week. We'll be announcing more in the coming few weeks. We're also piloting weekend Wawas, which is instead of spending a week, you could do something over the weekend for people who don't have a lot of vacation days, especially in the United States. So we're announcing...
Unfortunately.
Wink, wink.
Yeah, so we're announcing more artists in the United States who will be offering more like a Friday to Sunday. And then, yeah, just like more artists representing more art forms. People are always reaching out to us, like, do you have a tattoo artist or someone who works with polymer clay, or, you know, like, so we're just trying to meet the demands of people.
That's a great problem to have.
Yeah, that's a great problem to have.
So where can people find you on social media, follow you, and all that kind of stuff if they want to get more information or keep in touch?
Yeah, we're on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter as Baba_.
Okay, great. That's easy enough. And the website again was www.vawa.com.
Yep,
All
that's
right.
VAWAA, and it stands for Vacation with an Artist.
Awesome. All right. I know. I'm like, do I have the vacation days to go travel somewhere and work with somebody for a week?
You do.
That sounds amazing. I really want to do that. But Geetika, thank you so much for being with us today and sharing your business with us, and just this whole concept is so cool. I said it was original, and it's probably the first and only one that we've seen on this podcast so far. So, you know, congratulations on all your success. I think this is a really cool idea. Like, this is really amazing.
Thank you so much.
Definitely.
Thank you.
So folks, we'll be back again with a brand new episode very soon. Thanks to Trendy Tripping and WJMS Radio for sponsoring this podcast, to the Brooklyn Commons for providing us the venue and location to record, and to all the people that take part and tell us their stories and share with you guys, and of course to you guys for watching every single week. We appreciate you. Shout out to our photographer who likes to stay behind the scenes, but I shout him out anyway because it makes me laugh. I appreciate you guys. From Jamie and on behalf of Kristen, we'll see you guys next time right here on Inside Brooklyn.